Hello, today we're going to do Module 5, Lesson 5. Our objective today is that we're going to partition a whole into equal parts and define the equal parts to identify the unit fraction numerically. This is just a little bit more of what we've already been doing. Okay, let's do a quick review. Okay, so if I drew this shape, you can go ahead and draw the shape. And, whoops, I put a line here, and I put a line here. What is my fractional unit? My fractional unit is, well, it's divided into 3 parts, so that would be thirds. My fractional unit is thirds. Now, what color did I pick? All right, turquoise today. So what if I shade in 2 boxes? Whoa, goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. When my marker gets away from me, I lose track of where it is. All right. Now, okay. So, how many parts do I have shaded? 1, 2. So, I have 2/3 shaded, right? Okay. Now, what if I do something else? And I make, go ahead and draw this with me. What is my fractional unit? What did I make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are eighths. I, G, H, T, H, S. Now, I'm going to shade some in. So let's say, see if I'll go slower. Maybe my computer can keep up with it. I won't get some crazy coloring. Alright, all of these are shaded. Okay, so how many are shaded? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shaded. So what is this a picture of? This is a picture of 7/8. Okay? Now, what if I tell you, what if I give you this? What if I give you this? And I ask you to partition a circle to show me this. What would you do? Well, first you need to find out how many parts to partition it into, right? So we're going to partition it into this many. This is our parts, or our fractional unit. So our fractional unit is 6. So let's divide it into 6. Now, the easiest way to do that is to make thirds and cut them in half. Okay, so to make thirds, to make a Y, now let's cut them in half. Do I have 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do. Now, how many are you going to shade? Well, you look up here at the top. There's only 1. So you pick 1 and you shade it. And now you have a picture of 1/6. Okay, let's do another one like that. Okay, I would like you to make me a circle that shows 1/4. So you're going to draw a circle and want it to show me 1/4. What will you do? You're going to partition it into 4 parts, right? Because it's fourths. You can divide it into fourths. And how many will you shade? 1, right? So you pick 1 and you shade. I just seem to like this corner, I guess, today. Okay. Now, let's do a bar. This time I want a bar and I want it to show me 1/10. So I want a bar. I want you to show me 1/10. Okay? Pause the video and go ahead and do it. Alright, here we go. Let's make it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now let's count our spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oops, I've got 1 too many. I'm going to cut over here because these others are a little bit sloppier. Okay, so now I've made tenths. So how many do I shade? I will shade 1. Doesn't matter which one. No, I think this time I'll shade this one. Right? That's 1/10. Okay? Now, let's go on to our application problem. It says, Ms. Brown cut a 6-meter rope into 3 equal-sized pieces to make jump ropes. Okay, so let's draw a picture of that. Remember, we're going to take story problems, sentence by sentence. So I'm going to do a B for Mrs. Brown, and I'm going to make a long rope. Now, how long is that whole rope? I know the total here, 6. So this whole, all the way to here is 6 meters. And she cut into 3 equal pieces. So I'm going to kind of just judge. There we go, about 3 equal pieces, as best as I can. Now, Mr. Ware cut a 5-meter rope into 3 equal pieces. Okay, so I'm going to put a W here. Now, it's a 5-meter rope, so is it going to be as long? Nope. So I'm going to start over here just so I can compare visually. Well, let's say that's 5 meters. Okay, now, whoops, where'd my pencil go? I know my total of this rope is 5 meters. And he cut it into 3 equal-sized pieces. So I'm going to try to divide that up into thirds. It's pretty equal. Now, which class has longer ropes? Well, that's easy to see, isn't it? Because if you take this piece and you compare it with this piece, you can just see, because we lined up our pictures, right off the bat that Mrs. Brown has longer ropes. Now, here's a challenge. Let's find out how long her ropes, each of their ropes are. So, I've got 6 and I've divided it into 3 parts. So let's do that. 6 divided into 3 parts. What would that be? 2. 2 meters long. So this would be 2 meters, this would be 2 meters, and this would be 2 meters. Okay. Now, 5 divided by 2 or by 3, that's getting a little bit hairy. So we're not actually going to do that today because that takes us into higher math than I want to do with you right now. So we're just going to stop with Mrs. Brown. So each one of Mrs. Brown's ropes are 2 meters long. So let's write that down because we must have our sentences. Ms. Brown, let's say she's got the longest ropes because we need to answer the question, which class has longer ropes? Ms. Brown's class has the longest ropes. Period. They are, how long are they? 2 meters. 2 meters long. Very good. This is a great answer, isn't it? Okay. Moving on. Now, I'm going to draw a circle. Now, watch as I cut my whole circle and tell me how many equal parts I made. Okay? How many equal parts did I make or try to make? 2, right? Okay, so what is the name of each part? This would be a half. So 2 parts equals a half, or halves when we want to write more than one, but 1 is a half. See how we spell it differently? We change the F to the V. Okay. Now, if I shade a part, what is my fractional, what is the picture of, what is the fraction that my picture shows? Well, how many parts? 2 parts. How many shaded? 1. This bottom one is for the number of parts. The top one is for the number shaded. Okay? Let's do another one. Okay, tell me the name of the shape. I tried to draw a square. Okay, now watch as I cut my hole or partition my hole. Are you ready? Watch and then tell me my fractional units that I'm thinking of. So what's the fractional units? Thirds, right? Because I have 3 parts. Okay, now I'm going to shade. Okay, how many did I shade? I shaded 1 part. Let's write the fraction for this. So how many parts? 1, 2, 3. 3 parts for thirds, and 1 is shaded. Okay, now this is 1/3. If we were to write it, we would write 1/3, and because it's only 1, we would take off this S. Because 1/3 doesn't make sense. Okay, now let's do another one. This time, let me see here. Let me see if I can do this. This is tricky. Two, 3, 4. Let's see if I can do it. This is really a challenge. Okay, so let me go back because I want you to see each as a side. Here's the side, here's the side, here's the side. I think. No, this one, let me tell you, is a challenge for me. Okay, start at the top. Draw like this, 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 and close it. All right, what is my shape? How many sides did I make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sides is a octagon. Remember that? Okay, so this is a octagon. I'm going to divide it up. See if I can do it. You tell me my fractional unit. Okay, what's my fractional unit? How many pieces do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my fractional unit is 8. Okay, now I'm going to shade some. How many did I shade? I shaded 2 8s. Now let's write it in fraction form. So how many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many are shaded? 1, 2 goes on top. Okay? Now, I want to do 2 more. This one, I want to do like this. It's the name of my shape. You said rectangle, you got it right. Okay, find my pen. It's not harder than you think to do this. Alright, what's my fractional unit? 6, right? Because there are 6 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, when I shade it, that one shaded, that one shaded, that one shaded, that one shaded, and so is this one. Okay, how many 6 are shaded? 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5, 6 are shaded. Now let's write 5, 6 in fractional form. So the number of partitions is 6. The number that are shaded is 5. So 5, 6 is the same as 5, 6. Okay? Now, I'm going to draw another shape. All right, what kind of shape is this? Do you remember? This is a, what is it? Trapezoid. This is a trapezoid. Okay, now watch as I cut it. I cut the hole. Now, I tried to draw it equal. I wanted the sides to be equal. What do you notice right now? Do I have 2 equal sides? Pretty much. I've cut it into halves. Now, these right now are equal. Now watch again as I do this. What if I cut this half into halves? Now, What was the rule about fractions? That you must divide them into equal parts, right? So all the parts that you divide into are equal. Is this a good fraction? I want to know if this is a good fraction because I see this shape and I see this shape. When I cut this in half, I had two equal shapes. But if I cut them into fourths, will I have equal shapes? Will I have equal parts? I'm not thinking so, because look what I notice. Let me find I want to change my pen. So look what I notice. This part, if I were to draw the same thing here, to copy this shape, would come over here. This bottom one has a little bit more. Oh, if this was bread, I would not be happy if my brother got this and I got the smaller piece. What about this one? If I made this one, it would kind of come out like this. Oh my goodness, that's not straight at all. Kind of come out like this, right? And we still have this little bit extra. So is that an equal part? No, this is not a good fraction at all, is it? It is not like when we did it this way. It's not the same. This is a particularly hard shape for me to draw today, to make it about as equal as I can. Now look, if I were to cut it in half and fold it over, I would have two equal parts, and this would be a good shape. But when I cut it into fourths, not so good, right? Now I've got two pieces that are bigger than the other two pieces. That's definitely not equal. Okay. Now, knowing that some shapes can be cut equally and others cannot, although, I did cut it in half equally, but I couldn't with force. I want you to get started with your homework. Good luck, and I hope you have a good time doing it.